Hi friends, my journey in forensic science began humbly in the year 1993 as scientific assistant. From those early days, I dedicated myself to uncovering the hidden truths behind crime scenes with a deep sense of responsibility and passion for justice. As a clues team in charge with the Hyderabad City Police, I was entrusted with some of the most challenging and sensational cases, not only in the Twin Cities but also across Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. In each of these scenes, I focused on one mission: to find the silent witness, to trace and crucial evidence that could speak louder than words. Whether it was a suspicious fire, an intentional arson, or an unfortunate accident, every case was a chance to serve the truth. Through the scientific rigor and commitment, I helped distinguish crime from coincidence, intent from accident. Over the last 31 years, this journey has taken me more than 8,600 crime scenes across India. I have stood an expert witness in over 3,000 court cases, helping the judiciary with the scientific clarity. Along the way, I have been honored with 6 prestigious national awards and the Union Home Minister Medal for my services to the nation through forensic science. All the young trainees, aspiring forensic scientists, police officers, and members of the public, I say this: science may seem quiet, but the hands of the committed, it becomes a voice of justice. Let your work be guided by integrity, patience, and precision, because one day the truth you uncover might save a life, bring justice, or prevent a tragedy. This journey has been more than just a career. It's been a calling. And today, I want to use my experience to educate, inspire, and guide the next generation of crime scene officers and the general public. Fire destroys, it devours, but it also tells a story. For 31 years, I have walked through ashes, stood inside burned homes, shops, and factories. But what I have always looked for was not what burned, but why it burned. The scene of fire where truth hides in ashes. In any fire investigation, the scene speaks louder than witness. The first clue, the burn pattern, the direction of the flames, the presence of accelerants, every melted wire, every charred wall, it's all evidence. Many think fire destroys everything, but as forensic scientist, I know fire also preserves secrets, and the trained eye can decode them. Common mistakes crime scene officers must avoid, and how to become exceptional. Over the years, I have seen many well-meaning officers, bright, sincere, and committed, walk into fire scenes and unknowingly destroys critical evidence. A single footprint over a burn mark, a hand on a charred electric panel, shifted debris without documentation. Those small actions can erase the truth forever. At fire scene, every second counts, but rushing in without a method costs more than time. It can cost justice. Never enter until the fire department declares it safe. Photograph everything from wide angles to close-ups before touching a single item. Preserve signs of forced entry, trails of accelerants, and unusual burn patterns. Use gloves and avoid walking over key evidence zones unless absolutely necessary. Keep a clear, timed, and accurate record of every observation and action. Documentation is your first weapon. It is your shield against doubt and your sword on the courtroom. The file tells a story. Your job as a forensic or crime scene officer is not to interrupt it, but to record it faithfully and precisely. Let me tell you something from my heart. A great investigator does not just walk into the scene. He listens. He listens to the silence, the scars, the ashes, because truth hides where the eyes don't look and where the careless foot might step. If you want to become exceptional in our field, be it police, forensic, or fire investigation, remember this. Every scene deserves your full respect. Every case is someone's life story, and every small detail could be the turning point between justice and truth. Let me take you back to night I will never forget. A fire broke out in a small shop around midnight. The shop was locked from the outside. Locals believed it was an accidental electric fire. Nothing unusual, just another short circuit. But something didn't sit right with me. I observed that the most intense burn was on the back wall, far from any wiring. I noticed a subtle yet unmistakable scent of petrol. The burn patterns were not random. They were deliberate, controlled, intentional. Further investigation, I found traces of accelerant near the base of the wall and soot trails consistent with a pour pattern. That shop had not just caught fire, it had been set on fire. This was arson, staged cleverly to look like an accident. As we dug deeper, we discovered a motive, financial distress, and a fraudulent insurance claim. Without the forensic evidence collected that night, the truth would have gone up in smoke. This case is a lesson. Never assume as a forensic professionals. We don't guess, we investigate. We don't follow options, we follow the evidence. And even when the fire fades, the truth can still be found in the ashes if you know where to look. Let your curiosity drive you, let your integrity anchor you, and never underestimate the power of the well-documented photo. One tiny trace of soot or one piece of melted plastic that could change the direction of an entire criminal case. Main observations in a fire or arson crime scene from a forensic expert's lens. First look. The scene speaks first. When I first arrive at the fire scene, I don't rush in. I observe from a distance. I let the scene speak to me. I look at the pattern of burn. It is V-shaped, U-shaped, are irregular. Multiple points of origin. Fire that starts in more than one place may indicate arson. Directions of flame travel. Flame moves upward and outward. The cleanest surface sometimes show you the true part. Color and thickness of the smoke stains. Black, greasy, soot could mean accelerants were used. Status of odor and windows. Were they broken open? Locked from inside? These are silent witnesses. Before even collecting a single sample, I let the surroundings tell me the story. One may critical checks is the status of entry and exit points. Are doors forcibly opened? Are locks broken, cut or melted? Is there any sign of human activity like footprints in soot, dragged objects or misplaced furniture? In many arson cases, burglary and fire go hand to hand. Thieves sometimes set a fire to destroy evidence of theft or even murder. Burn pattern and point of origin. The fire fingerprint. One of the most critical observations I make as a forensic fire expert is identifying the burn pattern and the point of origin. These are the fingerprints left behind by the fire. A fire always begins at a specific point and then travel upwards and outward, driven by heat and oxygen. That's why we often see the V pattern. When I see V-shaped burn on a wall or cabinet, it often tells me this is where it started. But the patterns must be interpreted in context. For example, if V pattern starts low near the floor and there is a heavy charming that penetrates the surface, it may indicate the use of a liquid accelerant like petrol or kerosene poured deliberately. A U-shaped or irregular pattern could result from flashover or multiple ignition points, another red flag for arson. I also look for inverted cones of deep burn holes on the floor. These are very telling and usually not present in accidental fires. I have handled many cases where the real story come out only after closely studying the pattern of flames. Remember, a fire's movement is not random. It tells a story. And your job as an investigator is to read it, not rewrite it. Electrical sources. Eliminate the obvious, prove the truth. In almost every fire case, one of the first thing people say is it must be a short circuit. But as a forensic expert, I must ask, was it really? Here is how I approached it. I examine the MCB board or fuse box. If it has tripped, it is a sign the circuit responded to an overload. If not, it may mean fire reached the wiring later, not the other way around. I check the wiring patterns. Melted wires can indicate exposure to external heat, not necessarily internal shorting. True electrical arcing leaves bead-like formation, pitting, and sometimes copper globules called metallic sweating, which we analyze in the lab. I also look at fan regulators, power sockets, extension cords and switchboards to see where the fire damage began. In one case from Hyderabad, a refrigerator fire was blamed for the blaze, but our analysis showed that the fire originated far away from the fridge and it only melted later in heat. That changed the course of the investigation completely. So remember, never conclude short circuit without ruling out deliberate ignition. An expert type backed by scientific tools can differentiate burn due to fire and burnt due to fault. Traces of panic, guilt, or cover-up. Fire doesn't just destroy, it reveals behavior, human actions before, during, or after the fire. Leave clues that speak louder than words. I always look for footprints in soot. Was someone walking around after the fire started? Were they trying to rescue or perhaps escape? Drag marks. Was an object moved? Was body dragged to stage? A suicide or accident? Open drawers or lockers? Was there a burglary attempt? Were valuables stolen before the fire? Multiple burn matchsticks, candles, or spilled fuel. These can suggest preparation. Displaced furniture may be tied to a fuel can or to mislead investigator. In one case, we found a burnt house with the owner's body in the bedroom. Everyone assumed suicide, but I noticed a window broken from outside, footprints in soot, and a burnt matchbox near the kitchen, away from the body. It was a murder, staged to look like a suicide. This is why I always say, look not just at the fire, but at how the people interacted with the fire. Smell, containers, and accelerants. The hidden clues. One of the most telling signs of arson is the presence of accelerants. Fuels like petrol, kerosene, or alcohol that help fire spread faster and cause more damage. When I arrived at the scene, rely on my sense of smell. Petrol or chemical odors can linger even after the fire. I look carefully for empty or partially burnt containers, cans, bottles, or plastic containers near the point of origin. Melted plastic residues or unusual discolorations on floors or walls. These often indicate accelerant use. I also collect soil or debris samples from suspected areas, which are sent to the lab for chemical analysis. I share with new investigators. If you suspect accelerants, avoid contaminating the sample. Wear gloves. Use clean glass or metal containers. Seal tightly and label everything precisely. Accelerants are often the strongest evidence of arson. If you miss collecting this, the whole case can collapse. Don't touch. First, document everything. Photography is your weapon. Before you touch a single piece of evidence, remember the rule. Document first, handle later. Take wide-angle photos showing the overall scene and context. Take close-up shots of key evidence, burn patterns, electrical panels, accelerant containers, footprints, entry points. Always use scales, placards, and reference markers to show size and position. Record video walkthrough to capture spatial relationship and damage patterns. Proper documentation helps preserve the scene as it follows. After thorough documentation, carefully collect and package evidence with gloves and forceps to avoid contamination. Airtight containers for accelerant samples. Metallic covers or tins for charred materials. Never plastic or paper, as it can trap moisture and disgrade samples. Label everything with the date, time, location, and collector's name. Remember, your diligence here will make or break the case. What evidence to collect? In fire scenes, especially those suspected to be arson, the evidence can be subtle, damaged, and completely hidden. But with the trained eyes, we can still uncover the truth. Here is what to collect. Accelerant residues like petrol, kerosene, or diesel. Look for them near the seat of fire or inside containers. Charred debris. Collect burnt wood, carpets, or floor material that might have absorbed ignitable liquids. Electrical components. Wires, switches, and MCBs must be examined to confirm or rule out short circuits. Fire starters, matchboxes, candles, incense sticks, sometimes even placed deliberately. Suspicious tools or containers like bottles with smell of fuel, broken locks, or cutting tools. Footwear or tire impressions. These can lead to the suspect or show a path of entry or escape. Digital evidence or documents. CCTV, DVRs, mobile phones, and insurance papers can reveal motive. Each piece of evidence tells a story, but only if you know how to read it. How and where to collect evidence. Evidence must be collected with scientific care. Let me break it down. Charred debris. Use a steel spoon to collect it from the suspected point of origin. Accelerants. Use a pipette and collect into airtight glass or metallic containers, especially if fuel smell is strong. Wires and switches. Cut using insulated tools. Collect from the panels or near the burn zone. Soil samples. Scoop beneath the burnt area. Fuel often drips down. Tools and bottles. Pick using gloves and store in clean metallic bags. Footprints or tire marks. Photograph immediately, then cast with dental stone if required. Digital items. Handle gently and pack in anti-static bags like Faraday bags. Always collect from both the burnt area and a control area for comparison in lab analysis. Handling, lifting and packing procedures. Proper evidence handling can make or break your case. Follow these golden rules. Wear gloves always, avoid contamination. Label everything, case number, location, date and your initials. Preserve chain of custody from the field to the forensic lab. Now for packing. Accelerant debris. Use airtight metallic cans, never plastic. Vapors escape through plastic. Electric items. Wrap carefully and place in anti-static covers. Tools. Pack sharp tools in thick polythene with cushioning. Liquids. Use glass screw cap vials. Leave some airspace. Soil. Use paper bags for dry soil or glass jars if needed. Digital devices. Place in a Faraday bags to prevent tampering. Each evidence item must be treated like a witness. Handle it with respect. Why proper evidence collection matters? I have seen 5 scenes where the cause was clear, but the evidence was lost because someone stepped carelessly, moved objects, or packed samples wrongly. I have also seen ordinary officers do extraordinary work because they followed protocol and treated evidence with the care it deserves. In forensic science, the truth doesn't speak. You must help it to speak. So remember, be calm, be precise, be scientific, because the truth is hidden in the ashes and it is our duty to uncover it for the victims, for justice and for a safety society. Handling a burnt body found at the fire scene. When a burnt body is found at a fire or arson scene, the investigation immediately becomes more complex and sensitive. Here are the critical steps every forensic officer and investigator must follow. Secure the scene and preserve the evidence. The area around the body must be cordoned off immediately to prevent contamination or disturbance. Only authorized personnel should be allowed near the body. Remember, the body and its surroundings are a vital source of forensic evidence. So protecting the scene is paramount. Initial visual examination. From a safe distance, note the position and posture of the body. Look for the signs of struggle, bindings or wounds that may not be fire-related. Observe if there are personal belongings, weapons or accelerant containers nearby. Photograph and document extensively. Before moving or touching the body, take high-resolution photographs from multiple angles. Include wide shots showing the body in relation to the rest of the scene. Close-up of any visible injuries, burns or distinguishing marks. Record detailed notes about clothing, jewelry and any other identifying marks. or injuries or features. Do not attempt to remove the body yourself. Only trained forensic pathologists and medical examiners should handle body removal. Improper handling can destroy valuable evidence like trace materials, DNA, or accelerant residues. Collect physical evidence around the body. Collect charred material, soil, or debris nearby the body. Look for accelerant containers, ignition devices, or weapons. Use proper gloves, forceps, and sealed containers to avoid contamination. Coordinate with forensic pathology. Notify the forensic medical team immediately. A post-mortem examination, autopsy, will be essential to determine the cause and manner of death. The forensic medicine doctor will examine if the death was due to fire, smoke inhalation, burnt force trauma, or other causes. Collect trace evidence from the body. Collect hair, nail scrapings, or tissue samples for the toxicology and DNA. Analyze for carbon monoxide levels and presence of soot in airways to assess if the victim was alive during the fire, etc. Maintain chain of custody. Every sample and piece of evidence must be carefully labeled, documented, and tracked. The integrity of evidence from a burnt body scene is crucial for successful prosecution. Dealing with a burnt body is emotionally and professionally challenging. It requires compassion, patience, and meticulous attention to detail. The truth often lies beneath the ashes, and it is our duty to uncover it respectfully and scientifically. Fires may destroy homes, memories, and even lives. But as a forensic professionals, we stand at the edge of that destruction to find truth, not ashes. In every scene I have attended, whether it was a spark in a hut or a blaze in a high rise, I learned one thing: fire never lies. But it takes trained eyes, patience, and scientific discipline to read its language. Each burn mark, every melted switch, the smell of accelerants, they all whisper a story. And if you listen carefully, we can find justice for the silent. To all young forensic students, police officers, and crime scene investigators watching this, respect every scene, follow procedure, trust science. You are not just collecting evidence, you are protecting the truth. This is more than a job, it is a responsibility. And I hope that though it is serious, I have shared something that helps you carry that responsibility with clarity and courage. Let us be the ones who bring light into the dark, truth into the confusion, and justice, even from the ashes. Thank you for watching the Taruvu Forensic Vlogs with science meets service and experience becomes education. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to Taruvu Forensic Vlogs. Let's spread forensic knowledge, one scene at a time. Thank you. Jai Forensics. Jai Hind.